Faith Time is sponsored by Volunteers of America Southeast.
And Faith Time is our weekly conversation on matters of faith. And joining us this morning is Micah Gaston with Three Circle Church in Midtown Mobile. Thank you for joining us this morning, sir.
Hey, awesome. I'm so glad to be here with you, Chad.
All right, we want to talk about Thanksgiving. That is coming up this week. So why is giving thanks, first of all, important?
Well, I think it's important because Thanksgiving is not just a day on the calendar, if you will.
Yeah.
Really, it's a lifestyle. It's an approach to life that acknowledges the goodness of God. It's what theologians call common grace. So it has its origin in like James, where it talks about every good gift comes from God. And so that acknowledgement that every good gift we have in our life is ultimately given to us from God. And also for followers of Jesus, there's that acknowledgement of the gospel, of the fact that at the very center of the gospel is the fact that Jesus came and lived the life we couldn't live and died the death we should have died and was raised again the third day. So it's acknowledging that greatest gift we could never repay. And so it's just that general approach to Thanksgiving that shapes everything, not just a day on the calendar, but what we do life.
So talking about being thankful, how does that start, or how do you start a thankful attitude?
So I think a thankful attitude is something that you cultivate, that thought process of not only acknowledging the things in your life you're thankful for. So, those general things like the blessings of family, friends, health, our needs being met, those sort of things. And I think that can actually be the wellspring of a lot of other things. So as we are able to really be intentionally thankful for things we have, then we can begin to take the next step of being content for the things we have. And then as we develop that contentment for the things we have, to where we're not living in a state of discontentment or longing for things we don't have, then I think that frees us up to be generous people, to where we can say, what margin do I have? What resources do I have that I can give to people who have less? And so I think it's just a step, as we step into thankfulness and then into contentment and into generosity, I think we're on our way to freedom from our stuff, to where it doesn't own us, we own our stuff. And we can really manage it well for the good of others, and we can really love God and use our stuff, not vice versa.
So how does living thankfully sort of give you a grid work for approaching how you use your resources?
Well, I think once we get to a place where we're thankful and we're living in a place of contentment, then we can begin to pile everything, any purchase, especially large purchase we would make, into the categories of want versus need.
Oh, yeah.
And so we can say, this big purchase I'm about to make, is that something that I need or something I want? So when I say needs, I mean like necessities, like food, shelter, water, those sort of things. And so all those purchases aren't necessarily bad, but the average debt margin for most families is like $10,000 on credit cards. And so I think it's a way that we can say, hey, what do we have? And is this really something we need to buy or something we just want to buy? So it helps us to have a healthy kind of approach to how we use our resources, and to where we can be financially stable for our family. So
what do you think are some practical ways to cultivate Thanksgiving in one's own life?
Yeah, so I think there's several that are kind of on the bottom shelf and easy to do. I think one is begin to make a list. You can start with like 25 things you're thankful for, and I think you'll quickly find that list grow to much more. But I'd say start there. Another way is to think of people you're thankful for. So, grab a few thank you notes and think about people that have made an impact in your life, people that have blessed you and invested in you, and just drop them a little note and say, hey, I'm so thankful for you because of A, B, C, and D. And I think another way that's really kind of on the bottom shelf here around the holidays is finding ways to volunteer. I think one of the greatest ways to generate kind of a generosity and gratitude for the things we have is to serve those who are less fortunate, and to leverage our time and resources that way. Help us just say, hey man, there are people out there who are struggling, and I've been blessed with so much. And so I think that kind of frees our heart up in a lot of ways too.
All right, Pastor Micah Gaston with Three Circle Church this morning from Midtown Mobile. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Faith Time. We're thankful for you to be here this morning.
Thank you.
And News 5 this morning will continue after the break.